This is the longest I've ever been at milk, and I'm so proud of that. I say all this to say, if it is taking you longer to get to your goal, it'll get there. It just may take longer, and that's okay. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm back! Reagan's been on here for a couple weeks, I think. Yeah, something like that. So I'm back today, and let's just cross our fingers and hope this video maybe goes like I want it to. If not, it's just gonna be chaos, and that's kind of my life. I had an idea for how I wanted this video to go, but it's already off the rails because I need a deacon. I had to dump out water. For the first time in a month, we actually got considerable amount of rain, so I had to dump out a feeder there for the boys. They had to go in the barn last night. The girls are angry because I'm a little bit late. We've got 3 kids with strap, and we have a dog that got neutered yesterday. So, we're a little behind. And that may be why milking goes a little awry. But it could also be that my Nubians are starting to cycle, because Nubians are seasonal cyclers. Come on, boys. And I've got my fencing kind of rigged up in a weird way right now because I needed the girls to be able to get to hay. Come on, boys. Come on. Come on. Come on, Benj. Benji's in rut, so he is more interested in girlfriends than listening, and he stinks. Come on. Come on. Typically, even when Benji's in rut, he's still a good boy and listens. And that looks like what's going to happen right now. Even if we had to go around the world to get him to where he needs to go. The little ones. Come on. Ooh, come on. Just got to get him on the right trail. But he's going now. Look at those little tushies. And there's the boys. So, they're where they're going. We are going to be doing fall breeding very soon. All my girls have to get their selenium before we do fall breeding. All the girls are going to get their selenium hopefully this weekend is the plan. So, once we get selenium, then we will start working on fall breeding. So normally our fence runs from that T-post all the way down straight to the barn there. But I've rigged it so this gate here comes and they can get to this bale of hay, because it was pushed down so hard we couldn't pull out. So now they can get to that hay. Oh, look at Laramie. I think I've said it before in here. I don't think Laramie's gonna ever be in my pocket goat, but she's definitely gotten friendlier. So now that my fencing's all rigged up like that, I have to come in here. And it's gonna be not too bad. I have to come into their normal stall and like call them in because they think that I'm gonna pull them from over there, and I'm not. Come on, girls. Hey. Good morning. Hi, Baba. Good girls. Good girls. Excuse me. They know their order. So you have 1, 2, and 3, and then 4. She goes 4th. So they know their order, and they do not like being out of order. Go. So, Minnie is always first. Don't really know how she happened first, other than the fact I started trying to do my favorite milkers last. So that was Dawn and Belle, and somehow Minnie ended up first. And now it's Minnie, Belle, Eden, then Dawn. So I kind of spaced my 2 favorites out. And they're my favorites. They're my favorites just because they're the easiest to milk. They got the biggest teats, biggest udder, quickest. The Nigerian, smaller teats, makes sense. So you can see me using tape on some of the goats. I use it on 3 of them because they have kids in the pen. I don't have a good way to pull my keeper doelings and put them separate from mom. And all my goats are such good moms that they would still be letting their babies nurse. Like if the babies get the tape off or the tape comes off during the day, I come to a dry udder. So a little bit of sports tape, obviously scissors, and tape the teats, and most of the time we're okay. Belle I have to be the most creative with because her baby's the most persistent. When I dry them off, soon-ish probably for some of the girls, that won't be a problem. Once they're dried up, the babies won't try to nurse when they have kids next year. Well, no one has in the past. But where I keep my girls in milk, so we have the milk, got to keep the babies off of them. Are you finished with your breakfast? No, let's go get Miss Belle. Good girl, come on. Everyone's out of sorts lately, and I don't really know why. Other than the fact they're starting to cycle, and they're getting a little hormonal. She's got a little bit of a dirty butt, so I'm gonna treat her for worms later. She's actually naturally kind of drying up on her own, which is fine. I like having a little bit of a milk break between, next year it'll be between my spring milkers and my fall milkers, kidding, just to have a break. Now, in that time I don't have milk, but this year has actually been the longest I've ever stayed in milk, which is awesome. You're okay, man. Nope, 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 nope. You gotta be taped. So, as I was saying, this is the longest I've ever been in milk, and I'm so proud of that because it has been a long road coming. And part of that is because we still have super young kids, and that's kind of what this video was supposed to be about. Deacon being in here helping me milk, and it takes so much longer, especially when the goats are irritable. Apparently she's gonna leave the show. Let me go put her up. Yeah, I think Belle's problem is she's trying to cycle. I guess trying's not the right word. She is cycling probably. Miss Eden, we've been working on drying her out because she's getting bred. She is one of only 2 new Nigerians that's being bred for spring baby or early next year babies. There we go. Okay, now she can finish her breakfast and I can talk for a minute. So, as I was trying to say, this is the longest I've stayed in milk, and it is so exciting for me. And it's been a long road. We bought our first dairy goats in 21. Yeah, we moved in 2020, bought my first dairy goats in 21. I had no idea what I was doing. And the plan was to have dairy goats to make lotion and soap and use and drink and things like that. Before we had dairy goats, we'd never even drank goat milk. So it was, you know, just dive in head first like we do with everything. But I brought my first dairy goats home, and then weeks later found out I was pregnant with Deacon. And I'm not a good pregnant person, to be honest. I'm miserable. I don't like being pregnant. I love having the babies. I love my kids. I don't like being pregnant. But so it slowed that first year what we had imagined it would be like. And even now, some of our stuff is very slow because we do have such young kids. My oldest is just now is going to be 8 in November. My middle will be 6 in December. And then Deacon will be 3 in November. And so some of our stuff has taken a longer time to get here. And everything we do takes longer because we involve the kids in so much. And y'all see that on the videos. You know, part of what I wanted this video to look like was showing Deacon as a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old, handling the goats and milking the big Nubians. And He can. He knows to grab them, where to grab them. He knows to, you know, squeeze and release. And it's not great, and it's with my help, but he's doing it. He comes down here almost every day with me when the big kids are at school and helps me put the feed in the bucket, and he'll help me bring water over. And you know, that's part of the reason we wanted to live this life, is so the kids were involved and they see this stuff, and it takes so much longer. You know, I can milk all the goats start to finish and do a little chore here or there too in 30 minutes. And with Deacon, it takes closer to an hour. But that's okay, because it's what we wanted. And even though chores take longer, and even though the progress with getting products took longer, and the recipe, you know, I'm still figuring out my soap recipe and my lotion recipe, it's taking longer because I'm still raising these little kids that are very dependent. You know, the older two are getting better where I don't have to hover, and they can go outside, and Keaton will take Deacon with him and they'll go outside together. And, you know, when they're at school, it's just me and Deacon, and, you know, it takes longer, but it is so worth it to see him get excited, to see him try to milk the goats and talk about the goats and get excited when he gets to drink his goat milk that he helped milk. And it makes all of the longer taste so much better, for a weird way to say it, I guess. It's not easy, and it's frustrating that it's like, oh, it took you, you know, 4 years or almost 4 years of owning dairy goats to actually stay consistent in milk to a point where you could make products. Like, I have enough milk to make cheese and yogurt and ice cream this year. It took 4 years, and there was a lot of just feeding these goats, and they weren't fulfilling their whole purpose on our farm. They were helping keep our fields mowed, and they were fun to play with, and they were still making content, but they weren't giving us that milk. You know, everything we bring on here, besides a few things, have a purpose. Well, I guess all of them have a purpose, some of them more than others. You know, I do have dogs. You know, they're my companions. Virgil is a livestock guardian dog, but, you know, Bo and Boss, you don't see Boss a lot. He's our black, older black something mix. You know, he's a companion. Bo is a companion, and he is on the content some, but he's my companion. You know, I have Weathers. Their job is to be a companion to my buck and keep my fields mowed, and, you know, let the kids handle them. Meatball, his job is to be a companion as much as a rabbit is for Riley. Sorry about my ramble, but I'd say all this to say, if it is taking you longer to get to your goal than what you intended because you do have young kids and you feel like you can't do it all, it's okay. It'll get there. It just may take longer, and that's okay. Life's messy. Life takes time. And sometimes it just is that. And it's wonderful, and you will get so much pride if you take a breath and don't expect so much of yourself. And, you know, me and Reagan do it all the time. There's been times where I've had to, hey, take a breath, realize that this isn't going to be what you think it is because we're doing this with the kids. And that's okay. You just lower your expectations and you have fun with it. Are you almost done? I have to go with the last one that's going to be complicated. Dawn has been a pill lately to milk, and I think it's because, like I said, everyone's trying to cycle. The Nigerians cycle year-round. The Nubians are seasonal cyclers, and so they're trying to get cycling because it is that time of year, and they're hormonal. And it's rough. And my Nubians, before this last week, I don't have to put them in my head catch. They typically just stand and eat their grain, and I milk them. And so I never fixed my head catch so they would actually fit because they're big girls. So let's go get our last goat to milk and see what chaos ensues. And you know what? Whatever chaos it is okay. Oh, good girl. Dawn is also my scaredy cat. And so I was scared she's going to be scared of the tripod and camera that's sitting up. But she did really well. I'm really proud of her. We may be okay today with her. Nope. And that is why we film with GoPro. Very durable. Very good. Like I said, everything takes time sometimes, so I don't really know what I'm going to do about her right now. I didn't get to milk her out yesterday because of this same fit she's having. And I think part of her, she's stressed out because the other goats are hollering. I really don't know why. That's Rosemary on the other side of that wall. So I think what I'm going to do is milk her when Reagan gets home, which will be this evening, but it is what it is. If she dries up some, that's fine. I don't typically like to milk once they've been bred because they stink. Not because of them, but because of the buck. Even though I hand breed, which means I just bring the buck, I bring Benji in or Possum this year, when they're in heat, they still start to smell because they rub oil on them and it's gross. So that's okay. I don't know why Rosemary's freaking out. She could be in heat. She's gonna have to cross her legs and get over it because she's not getting bred until next summer. Because I want her to have fall babies. I want all my Nigerians to be kidding in the fall. So there will be some having to skip a season here and there to get everyone on the right track, which will be fine. My Nubians will all be early in the years, having minis, and then Nigis in the winter. So then we start getting milk all year round, and I'll try to have where I end up with about 4 weeks or even just 3 weeks or so where all my girls are dry, just to give myself a break. I can sleep in a little bit on those days if I want to and not having to milk every day. And that's just, I want that. Not everyone does. A lot of people want to be milked all year round. I want a small break, and that's okay. Everyone can do it different, but hopefully this encouraged someone. It's very chaotic sometimes, and that's okay. It's what happens when you have animals, and I love my animals, and I'm glad they're kind of being chaotic because you can see that this is not always smooth. It is what it is, and we love it. We love our kids. We love everything about this, and hopefully you enjoyed seeing it, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. I'm Megan from the GWP Homestead. See you later. Bye, guys.